Me and an idiot. You mad? The Otman Oustadi show about to start. In 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Otman Show. My next guest is considered to be one of the biggest real estate developers, Bali. Today we'll find out what makes him great and perhaps learn a few tips and tricks that could potentially help us in our personal journey. Mr. Rasmus Holst, thanks for coming.
A pleasure.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Otman.
First of all, before we get started, I got you something. I mean, you live here in Bali, but I just thought to be nice. This is for you.
That's very kind. Is that
Fantastic.
local from Bali?
It's just local souvenirs from the area.
That's an incredible way to start. I like
Fantastic.
it. I like it.
Great,
Super
great.
cool.
Are you from Copenhagen?
Exactly.
Denmark?
Yeah,
Such a
Denmark.
beautiful country. Been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, let's get into it straight. You considered one of the editors that organized the whole podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They referred to you as the greatest developer of Bali. What do you think of yourself that? Wow, what do you think about it?
I think it's super kind words. I think I would say from my perspective, as I typically say to the team, it's like it doesn't matter what we do. If we are just 1% better than anyone else, well, then we are the best. So
1% better.
that's what it takes. I think sometimes people I don't know. I think if you simplify things, it's for some people it can make it easier to understand that it doesn't require much more than that. It's just 1%. Then you are the best. So there is a lot of different places in the value chain. You can be the best. You can have the best product. You can be the best. Have the best sales team. You can be the best in marketing. You can have the strongest brand. You can be the best on many points. But I don't know. As I used to say, it's me versus me. I'm too busy to look if my neighbor's grass is greener than mine. I'm just doing me. I'm just enjoying the journey. I just like to learn. I like to push myself. I like to just see how far can we take things, and in a world where there is no limits, my world, I'm just pushing it.
That's great. That's great. But you mentioned 1%. By 1%, what do you mean? As in, shall we do 1% at the time, or just do 1% more than the competition? I'm not sure I understand the 1% concept.
I will say that's in everything you do. One example, as I said to my colleague, she's the manager of our marketing team, and we were just speaking about the coordination of the task and so on. And I just gave her an example, and I said, if we can do this in one day, just think about this example. If we do this in 24 hours, and all of our competitors takes them 7 days to do it. Well, then we're 7 times as fast as they are. That means in a year we get 7 times more things done.
Definitely.
So I think it doesn't matter what you do. Try to break down the process and then just reflect for yourself. How can I do this 1% better?
Interesting. That's a very good perspective of looking at.
Then you're always moving yourself. You're always optimizing.
You have a sense of direction. You're moving towards your goal.
No, you can always do better. You know what I mean? And I think often it comes down to asking yourself the question. I do that a lot. I reflect a lot about how can we do better. I simply just ask myself the question for getting an answer back, getting a reflection back to how can we optimize on our marketing? How can we do better in our sales department? How can we make our product even more differentiated? How can we make our brand stronger? How can we get more traffic? How can we, constantly having this, how can we do better?
Interesting. Before we dive deeper into the property world, I wanted to know a bit more about yourself. How was your upbringing? How was your childhood? What made you end up in property and sort of things?
I think I've always been a very curious person. Made my first million Danish when I was 12 selling.
You made your first million when you were 12?
12 Danish. So let's
Danish, okay.
in euro around 150,000 euro.
At 12 years old, how is that even possible?
I sold, you can say like luxury goods secondhand, like let's say Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Canada Goose, like luxury brands sold in secondhand. So I think from my perspective, I think I've always been curious, and also think when you're in a such a young age, doesn't need to be in such a young age, but just at some point in life when you figure out that you can trade a product instead of trading your time. There is no way back. I've never had a job in my life. I want to make that very clear. Why? Because the calculation is very simple. Why on earth would I ever, I don't know, do a cleaning job or whatever the job is where I get paid per hour, where I can get, let's say $20 or $30 per hour, when I can when I can sell a product. I figured out in a very young age that if I am able to trade a product, I can make $100, $200.
But, sorry, not to cut you off, but how does a 12-year-old put themselves in a position where they know, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is, because at 12 years old, now that I try to think about myself, I was barely going to school by myself. How do you put yourself in a position where you know the value of money and you think as an entrepreneur at such a young age? And did you have the guide? I'm sorry, did you have the guidance of your parents or?
No, I come from a very simple family. Both of my parents works in a kindergarten. None of them is entrepreneurs. My grandfather, though, was like a big entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it. Like I knew him from I was 0 to I was 6 years. So I see. It was not because he was my coach in a age of 10, but I think again things come back to being curious.
So your grandfather was your biggest inspiration in this case, in the business world? Not at all.
Not at all. No. It was I barely knew him. It was just I have a big finance company in Denmark in like we actually spoke about just before, close to Museo, but like in a main street, shopping street, and it's called 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿𝐫. And my grandfather used to have a big office, like literally speaking, like 1 block from there.
Oh, fantastic.
So he had a big insurance company, so quite similar, but it's super random.
Fantastic. And you mentioned your big office is in sales. What was it? What industry was it in?
Finance.
Finance.
Yeah. I have like a tax accounting that company in Denmark. Yeah.
Fantastic. And when did you transition into the real estate world?
We've been going for 2 years. I started 𝐾𝐿 Development Group. In 5 days from now, it's exactly 2 years ago.
Happy birthday. 2 years, and how did it go since then? How many developments have you done, and how did it go? How many units have you built?
We are launching 2 more developments here now, bringing us on a property portfolio of $107 million across the islands. Eight developments and around. Good question. I think we have around 700 properties.
700. Fantastic. So your strategy,
500, 600 properties. Yeah.
So your strategy is literally build and then retain. You don't sell. You just keep them for yourself.
Or we sell. We build, market, sell.
Okay.
And then we operate and we exit. So
So out of those 700, part of it, it's already been sold.
We have 400 investors worldwide today. So we raised 35 million dollars in the last 2 years. But I would say in the last 18 months, more or less. So we started in June, but we really went into operation in October. So from October, 2023, we really went into business. Let's call it that.
I see. And in Indonesia, in the Indonesian market, how does it work? You work mainly with private equity, or you can leverage some sort of finance through their banking system?
Yeah, super good question. We work with private investors, so we work with like the whole world: Spain, Belgium, Holland, France, US, Australia, Dubai, Qatar. I think we have clients from 25 countries. So they invest into a property on a payment plan, off plan, and when it's finished built, they get the returns from the rental.
Interesting. So you made it affordable for every investor to just jump in on a deal potentially, Do you have a minimum that an investor could invest with you, or?
Actually, all the way down to 25. We're also launching a tokenized real estate platform called 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞. So why is it called share? Because you invest into a share, like a fraction, but it's also about sharing is caring. So it's you can say on one hand it's a micro investment platform, but on the other hand it's more like a travel platform. So you can invest a small amount into property, and it gives you what? It gives you a cashback, gives you a return, a fixed return of 8%. And then on the other hand, it gives you what we call travel points. In other words, it gives you experiences. So as we spoke about before, we have a lot of properties in the world of 𝐾𝐾. So it gives you simply travel benefits. You can get free stays, you can get discounts, and so on.
Very interesting. So you mainly work with private investors. You don't leverage the banking system in Indonesia at all, and you reward. No, go on. Sorry.
I'm flying. So I'm flying in next week. I'm going to Copenhagen, and then I'm going to Poland to set up. So we are in the process of raising what equals $96 billion.
Billion.
$96 million.
Okay.
Million. 85 million euro. We're in the process of raising here now, debt financing. So that's more venture capital.
And what would be the purpose of that? Like for
just scaling the company. You can say business is quite simple. Everything is a recipe, or everything is a calculation. You have a product, we have marketing, we have sales, and you could say when those numbers goes up, well, what if I could scale my marketing budget from $5 million yearly to $15 million yearly? So it's just in general just to optimize on the whole business, not optimize, but like, yeah, just increase. Just if it works, do more. That's what we want to do.
And my first question is, how do you get people to trust you with their money?
Oh, that's a good question. Bigger picture, everything is about trust. So we have 2 finished build developments. We have 2 other resorts on time, opening here in November and opening in March. We have a proven track record of previous results of our projects that is live. We look at plus 90% occupancy rate, between 30 to 40% of all of our bookings comes through our own Instagram. We have, I would say, probably one of the strongest brands in Bali when it comes to properties. We are more like, we call ourselves like a lifestyle brand. So it's not the property is just like the functional. It's more what we want to create is like the life you want to have around your property. So we have a clothing brand called 𝐾𝐾 Active Wear. We host weekly events, dinners, meetups.
Okay.
Because as we usually say at 𝐾𝐾 Development Group, we understand the value of connecting people. The same as Nokia.
Key.
The same as Nokia understood. Connecting people, right? But I say it is like, I come from finance, I also come from festivals. I used to make events for 6 years in Denmark. And
okay.
I just see an industry where there is space for so much more.
I see. Now, you said that you managed to convince potential investors through the track record that you have. What about your first development when you had no investors, no track record? How did you go about it? How did you raise the first amount of money to build your first development? Did you have the money? Did you get it for someone?
I came with a good amount myself. So I have other company in Denmark. I've been operating the last 5 years. So I had a good amount of savings, and then I think everything is about understanding. So like we are quite chill. Like we have a quite big sales team or whatever you want to call it. But I hire people after like good energy and a capability to learn. We don't have like hardcore salespeople who is like pushing people or anything. We're super laid back. Like we're just here to connect. We're here to, as I used to say, like I want to have people on the same page as me. Like we're not like this. We're a team. I'm here to work with you. I'm here to make you a good investment. If I make you a good investment, like as you used to say, it's like it is as important for you as it is for me. Because let me say it like this: you invest in $200,000, I invest in $15 million. I'm looking at launching 2 developments now for around $70 million. Believe me, I do my groundwork, and having a track with like the numbers of the operation of our projects, it's very important for me. So I do whatever it takes. And what I mean with I do whatever it takes, it's quite simple. Everything's just like a number game. I invest whatever it takes in marketing into. Because one thing is to build a resort. We can also perspectivate it to like imagine building a nightclub. Of course, not everybody can build a nightclub, but let's say we are in the space of that, people who can build a nightclub. Cool. Then you build a nightclub. What happens? Then you open. Now you're in operation. I would say that's the number one reason people they work with us. It is from a marketing and operational point of view of not just building and say, cool, job done. No, that's where my job begin. For example, the 𝐾𝐭 lifestyle resort we're opening here in November. We're gonna open that with a festival. We're gonna make a 3-day festival called the 𝐾𝐭 Lifestyle Festival. I have 15 people full time on from a marketing and the partner brand perspective to make collaborations, goal setting, KPIs. We want to have plus 300 ambassadors in part of the campaign, moving up to it. So it's always before, under, after, and that's the same as when you make a development. I look at it as if I was operating any other hospitality or service business, as if I was opening a restaurant and you invested into a restaurant with me. Then it's not about building the restaurant. It's about opening and making it a success.
Very interesting. The way I'm envisioning this, you've got a marketing company above it all, and you're building a brand.
I build also brands.
And you have your finance business, you have your property development business, you do events. What else do you do? You're a serial entrepreneur. You do loads of things at the same time.
Not at the same time.
As in...
this is what I've done the last 10, 15 years.
Okay.
So I hired a CEO in my previous company. I spent maximum 1 hour per month on it.
Interesting.
So absolute less is more. Eyes on the ball. I have people asking me if I do consulting or blah, blah, blah. I make it very clear. I'm happy to give you some tips, but I don't. Like I have a focus.
That's very interesting. How do you delegate successfully and just delegate and move on to focus completely on a different task? I find it extremely challenging, especially when I try to grow. Having lots of people underneath you, it's quite stressing. How do you delegate the tasks in a successful manner?
That's a good question. It's a good question.
What did you do? Sorry to cut you off. What did you do when you found your CEO, for example, for the finance company?
I think, what is that I heard a few weeks ago? Success, no, confident. Confident comes from reputation. In the same way as if you, let's say you approach a girl on the street or whatever, and you've done this a million times, and every time you do it, it works, right? Then you go out 1,000,000.1 time with a lot of success because you have a track record of this is working.
It builds the confidence.
Yeah, the same as a fly. It flies in and it hurts, and it doesn't fly into that again. Well, probably that was the end station, right? My point is that you, from my perspective, it's communication. Like you need to simplify things. I think in the end of the day, it's about understanding. You need to understand. If you understand something very deep yourself, you are able to simplify it and communicate it very simple. I always call it a 3-step or 5-step. I can explain. I have some very, very, very talented people on our team, but they came in with, let's just say, the capability to learn and good energy. They didn't come in with the skills, but I don't care.
But how did they learn the skill? Did you teach them?
Yeah.
So you have to know
I know quite a few things.
I see.
Not because, look at me, but I know quite a few things. Why? Because I'm curious. I like to learn. I like to understand, how did I learn it? Well, I can tell you how I didn't know about Google Ads. I still don't today. But I work with the best Google Ads company in Denmark. I work with experts.
But how do you know? Like, for example, you said you didn't know much about Google Ads yourself. How did you know that you could trust this particular company with your business?
Track record, testimonials,
Okay.
different factors. Like in the same way as if you were doing a recruiting of another kind, then I would typically say everything is a number game. Again, I would say I would probably take 5 different meetings, and then you can say when you sit in a recruiting process like that, you're also going to learn from it because you're going to speak with people who is the experts in this field, and from that point of view, everybody's going to say some different things. And when you go from meeting number 1 to meeting number 2, you take some words to you.
That's
and you
correct.
can come in and
Absolutely, yes.
sound like the expert, or with other words, understand it better.
Very interesting. Going back to the development here in Bali, how is it the bureaucracy in Indonesia? How, like the legalities and all of that? Because, I mean, at least on the road, it seems a bit chaotic. So I don't know, when it comes to bureaucracy, is it straightforward? Is it a bit complex? How is it?
I have 2 companies in the US, 3 companies in Denmark, 6 companies here in Indonesia, and I have 1 company in Dubai. Indonesia is the best place I've ever operated a company from. And that's just, I'm a very honest guy. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Registering a title, for example, how long does it take? For example, setting up a company, how long that take?
I can set up a company in 7 days.
In 7 days in Indonesia?
In 7 days.
You won't take that?
Then I have all my company, all documents. I can set up a bank in 24 hours. My bank lady comes to my villa, I sign it, and I have it. If she comes at 10, I have my bank account at 3 p.m.
Okay. So it is straightforward.
Yeah, and now you've been here yourself. It's some extremely service-minded people.
100%.
Probably the best people on earth you can put in service.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's such a fantastic people to have around.
I can text my legal team who set up my company for like 𝐬𝐻. I use a company called 𝐬𝐻. I'm happy to mention them because they're incredible. I can text them 10 o'clock on a Saturday. I have no retainer on them. I'm a good client because I refer a lot of people to them. But my point is just, even on a Saturday, 10 p.m., I get, sorry, my late respond. And I get a response.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Indonesian people are just such a nice, calm, honest people.
Yeah, they could be.
I actually never believed anybody could be as nice as them.
No, it makes you...
They're so nice that you think then they're fake in a way. Because how can they be so nice?
Yeah.
Come out of their way, they help you, they do everything. It's just incredible.
They're good people. They're good people.
Definitely.
From the heart.
Yeah.
This is not the heart.
Fantastic. Why property? Why? Why did you get into the real estate game? That's my main question now.
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. Well, I flipped when I came to Bali. I came December. I was here with my ex-girl. I was renovating a villa together with her.
Here in Bali?
Yeah, here in Bali. That was like the first. I used to say nail it before I scale it. And I just like to do things, So it was just a little hobby project while we were on holiday. I also just came for holiday. No return ticket. And I never returned.
Fantastic.
But there, the idea were Villa de Creators. It was to make a co-living where we could make trips for people to come. So I think for me, why properties? I think it's a little bit deeper. I think it's for me. It's not. For me, it's more about bringing people together. It's more about creating more than properties. Everything we talk about in 𝐾𝐽 Development Group is that we create more than properties. It's more like an ecosystem of benefits, and from an investment point of view, it's about creating freedom. I know that sounds very deep, but it is like I want my clients to be able to just earn better, and from that's an economical point of view, but also from a lifestyle point of view, we are creating #1 playground for them in Bali.
Fantastic.
They can come here. We have in your phone. You have a 𝐾𝐽 members card, like in your wallet. It gives you, I don't know, discount to plus 100 different places in Bali. if you invest into one property, you get discount on all properties in the ecosystem. What does that mean? That means that you can come to Bali, you can stay in our jungle resort, you can go to Lovina in the north. At some point, you can go to Nusa Penida when we open there. You can go to Lombok, you can go to Uluwatu. You can explore more, as North Face would say it.
Fantastic. And tell me about your latest development, the one I saw on your Instagram, where the apartments look like a jungle.
That's Amazona.
Amazona. Is that the latest one? That's the one that you're building at the moment?
We're building a few. We are building Amazona is personally one of my favorite developments. It's a cool project.
And you're giving them such unique names as well. How do you come up with this creativity of such names and such creativity? Is there no building regulations about how to build the buildings in Indonesia, or they're very open-minded and you can do whatever you like in a way?
No. There's law, there's zonings, there's building permits, there's restriction of how high you can build and things like this. You can maximum build 15 meters.
15 meters in height.
Yeah.
Okay.
They used to say you can't build higher than the closest palm tree because the rule was made something like that for a long time ago. But in general, that's also one of the beautiful things about Bali, I will say, is that it is a country of freedom. And I don't feel like people is abusing it. So I would say imagine you wanted to make a resort in the middle of Copenhagen. It would probably take me 3 years just to get the permission to start the construction. Here you can get the building permit in like 2 months, 3 months. It's quite straightforward, yeah.
Interesting. At the end of the day, it's because of supply and demand. Copenhagen doesn't need as many buildings as perhaps Bali does.
No, but I also think it's because it's just it's a country of more restrictions. There's it's like company. Like there's just way more levels and departments, and this one needs to approve it, and this one needs to approve it. It needs to go out to like 12, 15, maybe 25 different people who need to put their stamp on it.
Wouldn't you agree that maybe because Denmark, it's a country that's already fully developed in a way, no? Indonesia is still in the middle of growth, essentially.
Yes and no. Indonesia is the sixth biggest economy in the world.
Sixth?
It has a bigger economy than UK and France.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have never thought that.
It's also the fourth biggest population, so you also have more people.
Interesting.
But I would say, well, at some point, of course, they're less developed than the Western world. Like some things about the infrastructure and like Denmark, for example, is very digital. You have like your app where you go in and, that's what you use for all your e-box where you get all communication from the government. There's different ways of doing it here, definitely. But I don't think it's more a cultural thing than in general. And now I can't talk on behalf of the whole Indonesia. Obviously, I'm not anything. Thank you very much. But like from a perspective of Bali, it's also just a very cultural thing. Hinduism, that it is just a very given culture, and it's just way more about freedom.
More freedom. It's very interesting. Do you invest just in Indonesia when it comes to property investing, or do you have any other locations you work in across the world?
We're planning to go global in 2027. If everything goes after the plan, like we're just looking at, we have like a five-year 2030 plan. So 2027 is like,
Any destinations in mind?
We're looking a little bit on Dubai potential. Let's see where the market is in 2027. Investing in properties a little bit like, analyzing the stock market. You can just put it down to like, what is the square meter price? Where's the market going? And things like this. And also, of course, there's a lot of political.
But you could just make your assumptions based on the track record. For example, for the last 30 years, it's been growing. So I would assume that it would grow. At
Yeah.
least for the UK, every 10 years, properties doubles in price. So properties is 100% a safe
No, yeah,
investment in the UK, for example.
absolute. But yeah. If you double it in price, then you have 10% increase in appreciation yearly.
It's an average. An average.
No, I get
It's
it.
not always the case. Of course,
No, that's not a
there
bad
is
case. That's a good case.
crisis and you know.
Yeah.
Okay, have you thought maybe about Morocco by any chance?
Yeah, we spoke a little bit about it. I think I hear a little bit here and a little bit here, and had some people who contacted me in regards to a big development in Morocco. I think location-wise and also potential brand-wise, Morocco has a lot of potential. I've never been in Morocco. I want to make that very clear. Just seen from outside that you have Dubai, you have Istanbul. Istanbul also very interesting. Same as you see in north of Cyprus, Lefkosa, then 𝐼𝐻𝐻 and so on, which is a real estate market really going one way. Location-wise, very interesting. Same with Limassol, you see in the south of Cyprus and on other end. I think Morocco also is located very interesting, based on square meter prices in Spain and movement there. You're so close to Europe.
100%.
So I think Morocco, and also just the storytelling of Morocco and so on. I think it's an interesting place.
It has a completely different culture from Europe.
Yeah.
It's not too far from Europe.
Yeah.
House pricing is not too expensive.
No.
And now, because of the World Cup in 2030,
Yeah.
the government is giving massive help for whoever wants to build. For example, they can 100% finance your deal, and then you start repaying 2 years after your project is completed, and you have 10 years to complete the
You have 10 years to complete the project.
10 years to complete the payment, essentially.
No, that's
You start
interesting.
paying only 2 years after the project is completed.
Okay.
And guess what? The government also covers any interests that the bank will add on top. So you essentially give back only the money that
What does it require to get a loan in a bank in Morocco?
you would have to search. I'm not sure.
No,
sure.
I thought it's just maybe you need to be a resident. So
I'm sure if you can provide some sort of proofs,
collateral.
and it will eventually contribute to the growth of the country. So I don't think they will turn away free money, essentially, you know. That's one, and there is a lot of other helps the government does for bigger projects. For example, we are looking at building the biggest aqua park in Africa, or at least from the biggest aqua park in Morocco for now.
Yeah.
And the government will finance us with 60% of the gross development.
Yeah, GDP. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see. Now it's just words. Hopefully we'll be able to make it happen. So yeah, what was your biggest challenge building your brands, your finance company, the 𝐾𝐭 brand, the marketing company, the development? What was your biggest challenge?
I get that question quite often.
Is
and yeah, I remember I had a podcast for like quite some time ago, and nothing came to my mind. I just remember I reflected about it after that. Nothing came to my mind, which comes back to that I don't look at it as a challenge.
Lessons.
It's just what it is. You know, I mean, it's just a journey. You just learn. You look at it, you fix it. That's it.
It shows your mental frame and how you operate.
Yeah.
It's just whatever. How do I get this done?
I'll be honest with you. I've had this week, if I look a little bit tired, we have a lot of things going on, and everything is good. Very positive. I have the overview. I usually say to myself, if I feel a little bit, a lot of things going on, then I say to myself that if you have the overview, it's going too slow.
Well, I agree with that.
But in the bigger picture, I think everything is just doing it. Just get over it. Don't, you learn, you get stronger the next time you're in a situation. I think it's back to like what we spoke about before. We're like having confidence about something because you have a lot of, let's say, call it reps. Like if I wake up and then I'm just like, okay, have you been standing in this situation before? Did we solve it? Did it become good? Yeah. Then let's just put it here, right? It is what it is. It's going to be fixed.
Very interesting.
I think it's one of the most important capabilities you can have as an entrepreneur. It is to be able to,
Not let it affect you.
communication and calculation. Like, understand that everything is a number game. On the front end, it's branding, it's marketing, it's colorful. But like, if you want to run and scale and be like do things controlled, then everything is a calculation. It happens in the Excel. It happens in the back end, and in communication. It's like if you ask me, that's the two most important things you can have as an entrepreneur. Calculation, just explain. Communication, that goes for like both yourself, how you communicate with yourself, what people call mindset or whatever. But like, literally speaking, like, it's hard, cool, give me more, try me. Like, I have so many sayings. I was standing in the shower yesterday and I was like, as I just said, it's been a tough week. And you know what I said to myself in the shower when I was standing there? I was just laughing. I was like, fuck, give me more. Just make me harder. Just give me more.
That's how you grow. You only grow under pressure. Otherwise, yeah. What advice would you give to your younger self? Is there any piece of advice you would recommend to yourself? I mean, I'm sure there isn't much, considering you made 150 euros at 12 years old. But if you had to think hard, is there anything maybe that you missed and you wished you could have done different?
Again, I think everything is a learning. If I look back, I'm proud of myself.
Fantastic.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I've always been curious. I lived in different countries. I've always been. I saw a girl in a metro for like 10 years ago, and now I'm telling you the story because I was looking at her and I found her beautiful. And I didn't go over and I didn't talk to her, but I said to myself, hey, I should go over and talk to her. I'm sitting here 10 years after and I'm telling you the story. Because what happened after was, why didn't I do it? And I think not from that day, but just in general and through my life, if I've been standing in a situation where I was not sure if I should do it or not do it, I've always done it.
You don't hesitate.
The pain of not doing it or the questions of why didn't you do it? It's way worse. That's number one. Number two is, again, back to reps, and you get confident that when you're standing in a situation where you're not sure if you should do it or do it, it's always where I've been growing the most as a person.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. It brings us back to this podcast, for example.
That's it.
I was surrounded by so many successful entrepreneurs, and I've been procrastinating for over a year of starting my own podcast.
Yeah.
And it was 3 days till the end of the retreat. And I was thinking to myself, if I don't start this podcast today, the week I go back to London, I'll absolutely regret it. And right then and then, I asked them, would you like to join my podcast? Would you like to join my podcast? And they all said yes.
Yeah.
And within a couple of hours, we started recording. So there you go.
That's amazing.
For example, if there is anybody that's interested in your development and wish perhaps to invest with you, where could they find you? Where could they learn a bit more about what you're doing? And
for example, Instagram or our website. So we're called 𝐾𝐿 Development Group. So that's our main brand, and then below that we have a lot of like sub brands.
Okay, they could just go on your Instagram, click on the link, and it will show everything.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
there. Fantastic. It was such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for giving us the time to interview.
You as well.
Hope to see you succeed in the future with your next deals. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Yo! It's Otman again. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to never miss a valuable episode.